Hey, y'all got me out there? Welcome to Georgia's on the Town. I missed y'all. It's been a while. It's been just about a month. I believe November 18th was the last time that we were out here. Welcome on the stream as well if you're watching. And it was November 22nd when the Georgetown Eagles last played. I'll double check my notes. I believe that was a final score of 62-28 against the Pflugerville Panthers. And hey, I'm happy that y'all guys joined us. Coach Griffin could not be here tonight, but Coach Aguirre is here with us. And Coach Aguirre, welcome to the show. It's nice to meet you. First time meeting you, first time having you out here. And
yes, sir.
It's nice to meet you in such a fun atmosphere because this is definitely far from the sidelines where you have to be serious and all that, but we get to talk some football. Happy to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you're the safeties coach, and as we talk about that Pflugerville win, I think a lot of credit goes to the defense because they started the game, if I'm not mistaken, with 2 3-and-outs and a punt, and that really set the tone for the rest of the game, really gave the offense a good chance to take that early lead, and then it never relinquished.
Yes, sir. I mean, our kids did a great job. We had a great week of practice. They played they played lights out, and we know as a defense, our offense is going to put points on the board. So we were able to get 3-and-out, turnover. We got to a lead, and now you're getting Pflugerville, who's a running team, out of their game plan, and it made it things fell into place the right way. The kids played a phenomenal game, and our defense played well. So it was awesome.
Now, because of COVID, we did not have a game against Weiss last week. It was already being rescheduled because of Cedar Park.
Yes, sir.
And then it just got canceled outright as they had to forfeit their last 2 games of the season. So we're approaching a 22-day period between games. It almost feels like a bowl game in a way where, you haven't played your last regular season game, then your postseason comes that much later. So how do you prepare the team for such a long delay?
Oh, man. So this has been by far the most challenging year I've been a part of, and our kids have been extremely resilient and have responded to every single call we've given them. So the big part was we've had to change our schedule. We've had to change our practice time. We've had to email parents and push out notifications time and time again. And not just our kids, but our parents have responded extremely well to that. And for our kids, it really was a mindset of how do we get them ready for what they need to be and what they need to see without overburdening them. So we approached it like a bye week. We still had good practices. We still had, at times, intense practices, but we didn't want it to be a grind, not with this long of a layover. Now this past week, we've amped it up, and they've done a great job, and it's been another good week of practice.
Moving on to the opponent, the Dripping Springs Tigers, they put up points on the board, so you kind of have your work cut out for them. When you go up against a high-powered offense versus maybe somebody who's averaging fewer points per game, do you maybe hamper your expectations? How do you approach different teams as you face them throughout the season?
Everything revolves around how can we effectively stop what they do and put our kids in the best position possible to maximize our success and minimize what they want to do. So with Pflugerville being a running team, it was maximizing, limiting the run. With Dripping Springs, they have a very good offense, they have a good quarterback, and a really special receiver. It's all about making sure our kids are exactly where they need to be, their eyes are in the right spot, and that there's no confusion in regards to the call, the coverages, the defense, and we're flying around to the ball. So it really is on defense. It's a week-to-week game plan of this is who they are as an offense, and this is how we stop what they want to do. And if we can make them one-dimensional, then we give ourselves a chance to be successful.
And you have a very experienced secondary back there.
Yes,
how do they help out with limiting such a pass or heavy team that we're probably likely to see here against Dripping Springs?
Well, I'm fortunate because to a large degree, with several of those kids, it's telling them one time, and they get it. So on the field, it really has become, at times, they are coaches on the fields, and the communications, whether it's motion or different formations that can give us issues, they're calling that out. So it makes it easier for me. It makes the job fun, and they do a great job of being leaders and of calling the defense and making sure we're where we need to be coverage-wise.
And it's something that it's a trend that the Eagles seem to get out of. But at the beginning of the season, y'all were kind of the comeback kids, and then towards the second half of the season, y'all didn't give the opportunity for the teams to take early leads. So how has that development throughout the season gone?
I think the biggest adjustment defensively was with all the restrictions with COVID, you can't fit run plays on air, right? So meaning as an offense, you can run power, you can run counter, you can run your offensive routes. Defensively, we can't fit the run. We can't teach a kid how to spill on air. And with a lot of practice restrictions, we weren't able to do that. We weren't able to have person-to-person contact. So the comeback kid, it was fun to be. We don't want to put ourselves in that position. Now, what is awesome is our team has shown if that were to happen, we have the capability and we have the mindset and we have the determination to make that comeback. But hopefully, right, this is a game where we do our jobs and we're not putting ourselves in that bind. But as the season's gone on, what I've seen is a maturation process of our defense, of seeing what they need to see, of being where they need to be, and making plays that they need to make for us to be successful.
Now, I'm going off the top of my head here, but I want to say it was like a 27-point comeback that first week against Belton, and then like a 38 unanswered run that you guys ended up having against Manor. And then since then, it's been pretty good. So, I think I love the way the defense has really just locked in and, learned those lessons early instead of over the course of the whole season maybe been like, hey, how are we going to fix this? They fixed it pretty early. So, I think a lot of that goes to both players and coaches. So, I know you guys can both take equal credit there.
Well, we try to give, the kids, they do a phenomenal job, and we just got to make sure we give them the right spots and we make it as clear as possible and make the changes when we need to. But really, we want to make sure the kids, there's no confusion. We want them to play fast and have fun and be physical. So they've done a great job of doing that, and it really has. It's cleaned up from week to week to week, and we're at a good spot right now.
Awesome. Any final thoughts for the crowd out here before we get going over to Coach Flores?
Oh, no, just on a personal note, I want to give a shout-out to Coach Walker at Liberty Hill. My best friend was Kent Walker, his brother, and he passed away from Jeff Walker, the head coach at Liberty Hill, passed away from cancer. So I just want to show my condolences and root for them the whole way. And for us as Eagle Nation, I'm so proud to be part of a strong program that we have great kids here. It's tremendous coaching here and working here, and the most important thing is EFND. So.
All right, Eagle Fight never dies. Well, thank you, Coach Aguirre. I appreciate your time coming on up. And, yeah, that's our safeties coach right here. Happy that we got a chance to go ahead and talk to Coach Aguirre. Now, Coach Flores, all right, hey, first time meeting a couple coaches here on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. All right.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey,
how's everybody doing?
Volume up a little bit. All right. Y'all got me back there? Am I too loud?
Never.
All right. That's guitar amp, so it's made to be loud. I am a terrible guitar player. I'm not going to ruin y'all's eardrums with my racket, but now joined by the running back and tight end coach, Coach Flores. And, the running back game has been such a strong part of the Georgetown Eagle offense. We can jump into it right there. Do you flip a coin on which running back you're going to hand it off to, knowing that you're probably going to have some positive yards?
Well, when we've got the offensive line and tight ends that we have, Jacob Estrada and Connor Heffernan, Brian Hargrove, Trey Flores, Josh Palmer, all those guys up front, you can pretty much just flip a coin. But when you've got a three-headed monster like you have in Devin Ross and Nate Denny and Ryan Eady, pick your poison.
And Darson can run a little too.
Well, Darson Herman is a quarterback / running back / fullback / tight end. He's done it all because he's lined up at Wildcat and pancaked some fools, in some of our later games as well, So, you got a 5-sided coin there to flip. You get to have some fun when you get to work in the run game with Coach Bond and I get to work with those guys every day trying to run the football. And it's a lot of fun to be able to say, well, how are we going to punish defenses this time? And it's really cool to be able to sit there on a Sunday and say, well, he's going to have 100, he's going to have 100. We're going to end up rushing for 300 yards on the night and having 500, 600 yards of offense because of the kids that we had and the way they've bought in and the way they've absorbed new schemes and scouting reports each and every week. So it's the most fun I've had being here at Georgetown in my 5 years, and we've had some great teams, but these guys, they just get it. So
Yeah, David England over here, he said from day one the running game's where it's at. And obviously, when you have that offensive line, that just makes the running game that much easier.
100%.
But I feel like, especially when Nate Denny came out, I think it was game 4 of the season, you've almost gone away from the pass because the run game is just that good. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I've noticed even like I think Dickman, who was one of our receivers, a sophomore, you've even kind of just let him get his experience in JV because the run game's where it's at, and I love it when y'all go into that jumbo set too.
Well, and it's just really cool because we have so many returners. You've got Darson Herman, who is returning starting quarterback and threw for all the yards and rushed for all the yards he did last year, and you've got Ryan coming back, and Devin came up from the JV, as a junior. And you've got 4 returning offensive linemen, and Josh came in, and he's been, a shining bright star on that offensive line as well and held his own. It's not like he had to step in and try and acclimate himself. Those guys have been working towards this for a very long time. And you've got, our tight ends. You've got Tyler Hawkins and Jake McCown and Anderson Inman. And then you get all of the receivers that you get back, looking at it in the summer when you're getting Brandon Bradford back and Tyler Fithian and Jacob Trussell and Cade Lachlan, and you get all those guys back from our team last year. We didn't have guys where we're having to replace 8-9 starters, So it's really exciting when we were thinking about it, having a delayed season, but we were like, when we get going, I mean, we've got some weapons. And you've seen that, in running under 40 plays the last 2 weeks and putting up 500-600 yards of offense and 63 points. So, but there's always that adage is good football teams can run the football when you get to the playoffs because that's what you're going to have to do to win playoff games. And we're going to have to run the football each and every week in the playoffs, and we're ready to do it.
Now, I asked Coach Gary this question, but I'll ask you the same thing. A little over 3 weeks without playing a game, just kind of what you have to deal with in 2020. On the offensive side of the ball, I'm sure you guys are excited to not go up against the defense for the Eagles.
We're just ready to hit somebody else.
Exactly.
Golly.
Yeah.
It's like fall camp all over again. You think about it, 21 games before, 21 practices and days of practice before you get your first game. We're just ready to go hit somebody else. I mean, we've been knocking heads against each other in 4 minutes a day and 2 minute and getting all of our good on good stuff. But I mean, these kids are ready to go knock some heads in a different color jersey, and I can't wait to see it.
All right, yeah, I think I'm ready for it too. I know everybody else is. The first game, just in case, I don't think I've said this yet, 1 o'clock on Saturday at Georgetown ISD. Eastview has the Friday night game. And if you want, you can get your playoff shirts. They're over here. Are y'all the keepers of the playoff shirts? Sure? All right, so just in case you don't have them, they're over there. Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, eventually. Yeah, they go from her hands to yours. So just so y'all know, playoffs are coming up 1 o'clock. How much is it a big deal to have that first-round playoff game back at GISD, especially considering such the length between games?
Well, given 2020 and the way it is, these kids missed out on their final home game. So it's huge to be able to get that experience of, I still get a home game. We have something to look forward to in terms of saying, I get to play it, at Birkelbach, and I get to wear the blue, and we get to take that walkthrough. We don't know, if we win the first round, we don't know what the second round holds in terms of neutral site, home and home, whatever it is. So, these kids are, I know if I were a senior, I'd be happy to have a final home game that was stolen from me a couple of weeks ago, because of 2020. It's just a weird year. You don't know when that last game will be, and we're lucky enough to be in the playoffs, first of all, and we're extremely lucky to have earned our way into a home playoff game. It wasn't given to us. We had to earn it each and every week of the season, and that's a testament to our kids.
Yeah, I was Coach asked me to do a little research, and I don't have it all off the top of my head, so I might just pull it up right here. But only 1 loss in the regular season. I think only 3 teams have done that since, the beginning of the 70s here in Georgetown.
1 or less.
So
I believe it was
impressive.
1969, 1980, and, of course, the 2012 state finalist team. I believe is what I was seeing the other week.
I was I'll have to see it here in my conversation with Coach Griffin. I actually looked up the entire Georgetown team, and I wonder, how do you think you would do against some of these undefeated teams in the teens?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Georgetown Eagles were rolling back then, and of course, Coach Dean, who hired me, got this program rolling again, and Coach Griffin has taken it over and taken it to the next level. And we hope we're, 30, 40 years from now, they're looking back at these teams like, man, they were rolling, and we're putting up a lot of wins and that one loss, and we're just building off of that every year. This is the best year, like you said, that we've had in a long time. You're looking at 8 years, and let's make sure that we're building on that each and every year by continuing to build our culture with our freshmen and our JV. Both our freshmen are district champions. Our JV Silver is an undefeated district champion. So it's not something where we're resting our loins with the varsity. We're continuing to build that program up, and we want to get it even better than it is now.
Now, shifting gears a little bit, just to get a show of hands, any Longhorn fans out there? No? Okay, we got some over here. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm an Aggie. Class 2008.
That was what I was leaning into. This isn't offensive to any Longhorns. I'm all things Texas, but you are an Aggie, and they've been having quite a great year.
I bleed maroon. Yes, and just like the Georgetown Eagles, the Aggies are peaking at just the right time to get into the college football playoff.
Yeah, I think number 5 is where it is.
They are.
Yeah, so that'll be cool if at least a Texas team represents in the college football playoff.
Well, someone's got to carry the banner flag for the state of Texas.
Yeah,
I mean, someone's got to do it. Jimbo is willing to do that for the rest of the state. Don't worry, Texas fans. We'll do it for you.
All righty. Well, any final thoughts before we let you go? Sign and get on to, I think Darson's up next.
I think QB1 is next, and I just want to say shout out to all of Eagle Nation for your support. I do wish that y'all could video stream the game. Unfortunately, I know about the UIL exclusive rights, but it's going to be awesome to still have everybody there. Hopefully everybody is out and loud and wearing blue and being as loud as they can and supporting us as we go up against a very good drip team. But we feel pretty good because we're a pretty good team.
We're working on that. We might have video.
All right.
We'll keep you updated. As far as I know, Rob Hipp is going to his local state rep.
I saw that. Rob was posting the other day. I mean,
oh yeah, he's posting.
We shared that. I shared that about 1 million times as I could. So make sure it gets out there. But it should be allowed for you guys who work so hard throughout the year to stream all of these games and bring that to the folks who either cannot make it or have health concerns in a time like this, should be able to watch the Georgetown Eagles and support their team from wherever they are.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your support on that, and we'll figure out how that one ends up. We'll keep y'all posted on Facebook and all that stuff.
Can't wait to hear it. Thanks and gig 'em.
Nice to meet you. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and now we get a chance to talk to QB1. So Darson Herman, come on up. All righty, finally have you on the show.
Yeah.
Were you on week 1 by chance? I can't even remember. Back with no, you weren't, because nobody was at week 1. It was in the locker room, and that was the decals and dads, so no players were there. So, hey, finally have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so junior season, obviously crazy 2020 about it, but how has it gone? How are you going to remember it? To this point, I should say.
We'll say it's kind of crazy, having to keep up with keeping your masks on, of course, kind of that annoying little thing, but coaches are always on us, especially Flo and especially Aguirre. But keeping our masks on, getting our last home game canceled, that's kind of a bummer, especially for the seniors. But luckily we have that playoff game here at home, and, it's be a game to remember.
So Coach Flores brought it up. You just have a loaded backfield there with you. You usually have McCown in to block. You can have either Ross or Denny or Edie to hand it off to. How do you make those decisions?
I'm perfectly okay with handing the ball off to any of those three, and knowing that they'll get the job done, they'll get more yards than they're expected of. Just having Nate house those runs, Devin coming in when he needs to, getting those extra yards, Ryan doing whatever he's told to do, doing it perfectly. It's just awesome to have back there in the backfield.
Now, that zone read played, I've never run it myself. I see you guys practice the drill all the time. How tempting is it, or how much communication do you have to have with your running back, not for him to steal it from you or you to steal it from him? Or what's that exchange like? 'Cause that's a very popular play.
We have to practice it every practice, and knowing that Nate wants to take the ball or Ryan wants to take the ball or Devin wants to take the ball and I want to take the ball, he just can't grip it too hard in case I have to take it, but they all three want the ball really badly.
I bet, and that's been a big strength. And as Coach mentioned, you're also a pretty good runner yourself. So when you just have that kind of talent and what a stacked offensive line you have, does that just make things easier?
Oh, yeah. Having my O-line, especially most of them returning, and having that experience, it's awesome to have up there, up top. And having Jake and Tyler block for me, too, it's awesome. Just being able to run, having wide open gaps. Flo gives me a hard time about every time I run the ball, but it's fun.
All right, hate to put you on the spot. Left side or right side, up the middle?
Whatever side Estrada's not going to.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I did want to ask you a little bit about that. Maybe it's just me noticing the run game a little bit more, but have you guys maybe shied away from the pass as the run game's become so dominant just because it's there, and if you can burn that clock, because y'all have been playing with the lead a lot lately as well. Is that sort of an accurate thing that I'm seeing up there in the booth?
We want to throw the ball around as much as we can, but when our run game we're going to do whatever we can to win the game, especially if we're up. If we have 60 points on the board, we want to run the clock down too, and whatever it takes to win the game is what we're going to do.
So regular season's over, and when it comes down to remembering every game, Belton seems like a distant past, but I brought it up, and you guys kind of had to come back early on, knowing that you're going up against a high-powered offense and you've had to come back from games before. What's your mindset going into games? And if you ever do maybe fall behind by a touchdown early on, sort of like Copper's Cove when they had the ball first, they struck first, you're not really worried?
You know, those first few games of district and preseason in Belton and Manor, you know, walking in the locker room at halftime like, dang, this sucks, we're losing. But knowing that we have to go out there and get the job done and come back and win, and we were successful every time we had to, and it was just an awesome feeling, especially after the game, knowing you just made the best comeback ever, and it's just awesome feeling.
I imagine it is. And as we talk about this Dripping Springs team, what do you see about their defense that you maybe like and want to take advantage of without giving up too many rules here on the stream?
I just think we're going to put up some points on them. That's what our goal is to do, and I think we will do that.
I like that strategy. Just put up points every which way. Well, any shout-outs you want to have here? Any moment where you get to talk to the countless people watching on the stream or say anything?
Shout out my O-line, receivers. Shout out the defense for holding it down. Shout out all the coaches. Shout out my family and Mr. Brian back there.
Yep. And Danny Obina wanted a personal shout-out right there, I noticed.
Yep, shout out Joe.
All righty. Well, thank you for your time. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. That was Darson Herman. And next up, if he made it on out, Noah Madlow. Hey, Noah, come on up. All right. There we go. That was my fault. Y'all still got me back there loud and clear? All right. So, Noah, thank you for joining the show. I usually ask this question, but I forgot about it with Darson. Have you ever been interviewed before?
No, sir, I haven't.
Awesome. First time for everything.
Yes, sir.
So, defense, you're linebacker on the team. How have you enjoyed this season through, what is it? Y'all officially played 8 games, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been really great just, going out, playing with all the boys, all the seniors on the team and everything. Your kids, too. It's just been a great experience.
So, I don't mean to keep harping it, but it's just one of my prepared questions. Everybody's answer. 22 days between the Pflugerville game and the game on Saturday. What's this delay been like for you?
Well, really, it hasn't been too bad. We've had our film and our game plan for a while now, and we've been practicing and, like I said, watching film. So I think that we're plenty prepared to go out and beat Dripping Springs.
Now, I knew that there was a little bit of a question between Seguin or Dripping Springs. So did you guys just have to pretty much prepare for both on this delay? Because y'all knew that you weren't going to be playing Weiss for a couple weeks now. So your next opponent hasn't really been that big of a hasn't been a this week coming up until this week for almost a month.
Yeah, so we did scheme a little bit for Seguin for about a week. And then once Dripping Springs and Seguin played, and Dripping Springs won, then we started scheming towards Dripping Springs.
Yeah, because I know that was like sort of a battle to watch because you plan up the next team. So what do you know about this Dripping Springs team?
They do throw the ball a lot. They mainly throw it to this one receiver, number 15. And then for the run, they run some counter, some inside zone, and power.
So we see the Obina brothers over here. They're a key part of that defense.
Yes,
You
sir.
work a lot with them. How's it been working with that front seven this season?
It's really good. Those front D linemen, those 3 or 4 guys, they make my job, Emmanuel's job, way easy because they take up the gaps and do their jobs like they're supposed to.
And that's something I see a lot that you guys do. You seem to switch in different groups of that front 3 linemen. Does that change anything that you guys do back there if there's a different group, or do you know different schemes for different groups, or is it all just kind of the same general game plan no matter who's out there?
It's basically the same game plan.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So as we talk about this playoff for you guys, what are some of the things that you want to focus in on as a defense?
Honestly, just stopping the pass because in their last game they threw the ball a lot. If we can get pressure on their quarterback, who's pretty good, then I think that our DBs and the guys in the back can take care of the receivers, and we'll be able to come out on top.
Now, maybe I'm wrong, but as we get into this playoff run, you're starting to eliminate those teams as you get deeper that couldn't pass. So it's a little bit of you have to deal with both sides. Where is that balance that you guys need to have as a defense for respecting both sides?
Well, really, we just have to, just like play hard and continue to just keep working. Whoever we play, we just have to scheme against them and just watch film, make sure we know what we're doing, and just do our jobs.
Listen to Coach Pat.
Yes, sir.
All right, I've yet to get a straight answer, so maybe you can get me one. Best Coach Pat story you can tell on live air.
Okay, so my sophomore year, he had a team dinner, and it was probably about like this degrees outside, and we had a senior or a junior on that team named Whitman Frazier. So Coach Pat goes inside and he's like talking, just hanging out with us. And then we all come back outside, and Whitman's in his underwear inside of his pool. And right after that, Coach Pat, you know how he is. He just loses it. But that's probably the funniest thing that I've seen.
Was that the last time Coach Pat invited y'all over?
Invited him over.
Or just Whitman? Okay,
Yeah.
Everybody else is okay.
Yes,
but
sir.
That was the end of it. All right. Well, any final thoughts here as we wrap up your interview? Anybody you want to shout out to? Anything you want to say?
Yes, sir. Shout out my mom and dad. Shout out all the boys here. Everybody else. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you for your time. Good luck this Saturday. All righty. All right. That was Noah Maidlow. And now, Brian, Coach, Mr. Hawkins, come on up if you have a chance. Booster Club segment time. Oh, yes, you brought the T-shirt. All right, let's give this a good look. Oh, it's the semi-fall, semi-winter weather we have coming on up.
That's what I hear. Somebody had said it was going to be like high 70s, and now the front's coming through. What are we, 60s, mid 60s? Oh,
sounds like mid-December in Texas.
I know Well, it feels like we ought to be playing like quarterfinals or semifinals in the playoffs because it's so late. I mean, we always, you want to get to Thanksgiving, and now all of a sudden here we are in first round, and we're playing in December.
That's true.
So.
I guess I haven't been fazed about it because we did start so late. It was like, September 29th when we started this whole thing?
Yeah, it's something crazy, yeah. So, anyway,
check this out.
So we got, I guess right here's the camera.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Show it to the camera here.
That's the front.
We got a nice Oh, I love that design. That's great.
Yeah. Oh, Hargo Linnell, she's unbelievable. I mean, she comes up with this stuff. I mean, we are lucky to have her doing all that and got the roster.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest playoff roster. We went college here. We're going to double number some kids here,
wow.
right?
Oh, really?
I mean, yes. We got a couple of twos and all that. So you're going to need to get an updated roster. And then we got on the sleeve, it's got playoffs 2020.
Oh, nice.
So we got them tonight, but obviously people aren't here. We'll have them Friday night at team dinner. So if any parents want to come up, or then Saturday morning at the tailgate.
Great.
So
what do they cost a shirt?
So these are $20 a shirt. It's either a cotton or a dry fit, and then we have some ladies cuts that's got a little bling on it. They're $25.
Awesome. All
so
right.
everything's long sleeve, but yeah, this is it.
I'll have to grab me one. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I have what is it? I think it's Reagan Smithson Valley game on Friday night for their playoff match, and then I'm coming out to y'all. So I won't be there Friday, but I'll be there Saturday for the tailgate.
Yeah, come find. We're doing breakfast tailgate. So,
yes, because it's a 1 o'clock kick. So
1 o'clock kick, so we'll be eating at 10:30. We're going to feed the boys at 7:45 breakfast tacos, and then try to get everybody, convince everybody, just make a day of it. So we'll come over. We're going to do pancakes, scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, all that. Yeah. So we're going to eat about 10:30, and I think the boys are supposed to roll through 11:15 or so. We'll get to see them. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So make sure you set your alarm clocks early, skip the Saturday morning cartoons, and just get on out to GISD Athletic Complex.
That's it. Yeah, we may have a couple of fire pits since now it's going to be a little cooler. So, we want to make a big deal about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's, just we're so blessed to actually be here. Everything's so up in the air with COVID.
Oh, my gosh. Who would have thought that we would actually made it here? I guess the last time we had a home playoff game, we were talking about it because I had an older son that it was, I don't know if David remembers. You remember last home playoff game? We played Reagan on a Thursday night, and Coach Dean worked the deal. I guess that was 2015 because Brandon, my son, was a sophomore. So we played them on a Thursday night, and their coaches agreed to it. Were you here then, Coach? You weren't here, Flores. So the next Friday was grades came out, and they're like, we're going to lose our whole team. We want to play. Let's get them a game. So we played Thursday night, and I remember they had he was a Reagan graduate, drove up. They came up in buses. They had charter buses. They came up and played. They had that running back, though. His name's Carr. He's at U of H, real good running back, and he played defense and all that. But obviously we got the win there. I guess that's the last home playoff game, 2015. And then the last time we played Dripping Springs, Kyle and I were talking about this, was 2016. No, it was 2015 also. We had to beat them to get in the playoffs. So we were supposed to play them home game Friday night. And they rainstorm blew through. They couldn't get out. It was flooded. So we played them Saturday night. Yeah, we gave up a late touchdown, and then Chandler marched them down the field, and we scored with no time left to win the game, and that helped get us in the playoffs. Yeah, it was crazy.
Hopefully we don't have that much of a nail biter.
I hope not. But
if anything, looks like Dripping Springs likes to have a shootout, so they like to score a lot of points. So hopefully the defense can lock them down. The offense go crazy.
There's the man to do it, Coach Aguirre. I know he's all over it. So we just got to keep up with them. So
exactly. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's also really cool that this year we were able to have fans in the stands because where was it? You just went up to Provo a couple weeks ago, and I think it was only family members allowed at the time, right?
Yeah. I missed a week, so it was it was in Boise over Thanksgiving. I was going to go and stay, and then the game that Saturday, Thanksgiving week, was senior parents only. Yeah, but it actually got canceled the morning of because they got late test results. But I mean, it was a mess. So they haven't played in like a month either.
Yeah.
So Boise,
just 2020 does it.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously everybody's staying safe. You hear the coaches are always on it about staying safe. But what a credit to Georgetown, you guys as parents and boosters, as well as the coaches and the players for staying safe because it just happens everywhere, and that could just be sort of the end of the season in a way for somebody like Weiss.
You're exactly right. I know I missed a week, so my son Tyler. So a player got it, close contact. He missed the Pflugerville game, so he was out. He was excited to be back for Weiss, and that didn't work out. So I know I missed because we kind of stayed away from that as well. So, but they've done a great job with the training staff kind of tracking who's where and all that. So, we feel very, very fortunate just to even get to this point. And basically we missed one game, and it wasn't our fault. So I think it's an outstanding credit to the coaches and all that. I know we've had coaches and the trainers,
So, everybody deserves their part in this.
They do.
Because it's, we weren't sure if we were going to have it,
You're exactly right. Yeah, we feel like we're on borrowed time already, but we'll see. Yeah. So.
Because, unfortunately, talk about the Georgetown baseball team. 2 years ago, they go to the state tournament. The next year, they don't get to district play.
Yeah,
so
they got 3 games.
It's very, very great that we were able to do this. I appreciate you coming out here. And Miss Kay.
Yeah, Miss Kay's here. The pledges, they're our best supporters we got. So, I figured I get here. Maybe next week we'll get Miss Kay back up here. But since I missed a couple, here we are. So, we just appreciate you guys and all y'all do. And,
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, we
we're having
will.
It. It's done. Yeah.
We are. Okay. All right.
Well, I'll give thumbs up. We're doing the video, so it'll be on. We're not going to just cancel it. So Saturday will be video. We'll figure out how to pay for it later, right? And isn't that the spirit of Christmas? Is like just buy it and we'll pay for it later, right? So
I understand they'll invoice us in 2021, and that's kind of the crazy thing is that Rob Hipp, who used to be in this chair, he does Huntsville now, and because they were number 4, so they just come on in. They're doing all the games, and he used to do video all season long, and he can't now. So just kind of crazy situation. But anyhow, this is how it goes, and I'm happy to hear that we at least have your stamp of approval. We'll have to make sure all of our ducks are in a row. But
you do your side. We'll figure out how to get it paid. That's kind of what we want to do. So Huntsville, we played them a couple years ago in the playoffs. We beat them in Bryan. Yeah, that's where I'm from, so I know Huntsville. I kind of follow them. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, hopefully we run into them again. That would be fun. I don't know all of the divisions
I don't think it's going to work.
or-
Yeah, they're D2, so I don't think we would. They don't want none of us. I mean, we've already beat them once in the playoffs. I don't care if they're 4 in the state. They don't want none of the Georgetown Eagles again. So
Fair. Well, a couple notes before I let you get your final thoughts in. Buy a shirt. It's
get a
20
shirt.
bucks.
Yeah, we got 'em.
25
Yeah.
for the women's cheese, and you can get them Friday night again. Where?
Friday night we'll be at the cafeteria. We'll serve the kids about 5 o'clock. We'll have them, or we'll also have them at tailgate again. We're going to start eating at 10:30, but there'll be people there all morning. So we'll be there, and we might even have if we can. Linnell, we're still trying to get somebody at the game, possibly, if we have any inventory left. Yeah.
Great.
So,
And the tailgate is the same spot as usual out by the baseball field.
Yep, that's right. I guess that's the north gate is what we're calling. Not North Gate like you, Aggie. I know, Coach. You say North Gate. It's Coach Flores is getting excited over there. It's North Gate, but it's not Aggie North Gate. So there's no
And it's still not.
Yeah.
It's still not too late to join Booster Club. $15 entry, right?
Actually, it's 10.
10.
But So, and we got to figure out what we're going to do about end of year banquet. So, it's like, what can we do? Because Meet the Eagles was a big chore, and we were able to do that outside. I don't know. We got to figure out banquet. That's usually in January is when we have it. So we're going to go ahead and move it back a weekend because state championship's January 17th. So we had it on the schedule for the 18th, but we're going to probably bump it back to the 24th. Yeah. So we're preparing.
You got the logistics there, and
well, we don't know. I don't know that we do. We got to figure out where we can have it and get 500 people. In a. So I don't know. Maybe your house could host us,
no,
right?
I wish.
No?
That'd be awesome. No, not likely. But okay, well.
Well, maybe your dad could hook us up with like a San Antonio Spur player or something. I bet they would have a house big enough.
The
maybe.
AT&T Center is for the first time ever releasing out the AT&T Center. So if you want to go all the way to San Antonio.
Well, I mean, if we could get it for a decent price, maybe we make a move. I know Herman's a big Spur fan. Darson is as well. That's a thought.
There you go. Yeah. Well, the Spurs get starting up soon.
Yeah.
Ms. K, are you volunteering? All
There,
right,
there you go. Yeah.
We win state. We'll go ahead and rent out the AT&T Center.
That's
Why not?
right. Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Or maybe we can get the Irwin Center before they tear it down. We'll have to see.
Yeah. So.
All righty. Well, any final thoughts? Anything you didn't get to before we sign off?
No. Go Eagles, and thank you guys for all you do. Can't wait for the playoff game.
All right.
Yeah.
Eagle Fight never dies.
There you
All
go.
right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for coming on out. Saturday, 1 o'clock, GISD Athletic Complex, Birkelbach Field. Can't wait to see you all there. Can't wait to see you on the stream. And, it'll be fun. Thank you to Brian Hawkins. Thank you to the coaches. Thank you to the players for coming on out. And we'll keep doing this as long as the Eagles are playing. So hopefully through January. Looking forward to it. Come on out. George is on the town, 6 o'clock on Wednesday's game.